educational course yet. Today is our fourth educational session. The topic of this session is NFTs and DAOs. So we will be going through different aspects of these technologies, talking about their past, their future, give a little bit of theory. And we have a couple amazing guests with us today, and we will have one more guest join a little bit later. So you probably already know Vanya. Vanya, you can say hi to people who maybe don't know you yet.
Yeah, hi dear viewers. So on the stream, I will represent partially our yellow side. Yeah, so I work as a BA here, partially as a product manager, let's say, and yeah, so I'll be here.
And also we have Andy. Andy, can you say a couple of words about yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody, and thanks to Yellow University and our host today for hosting me tonight. My name is Andy Ko. I'm the CEO of GEMS Esports 3.0 platform, where our mission is to bridge Web2 gamers to Web3 through esports tournament. And I think tonight's topic is very much close to my heart, which we're going to actually discuss about NFT and DAO. So all the live audiences, hope you tune in now to listen to what we have got to share in the next hours or minutes. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, yeah. We're really happy to have you here. So I can also say that perhaps the Yellow community can expect some more news about the collaboration between GEM's platform and Yellow and Zetaki's platform. And for now, let's basically jump right into it. So NFTs. Let's start with NFTs, and then later on we can talk about DAOs. So how would you how would you explain NFTs in super simple terms for someone who heard about the hype and they still think that NFTs are just funny images on the internet that people pay like hundreds or millions of dollars for, but you can simply save it on your computer? So your part.
Yeah, maybe I can start first. Since we are talking about how NFT can be used for gaming, and I think in today's modern world, a lot of traditional game publishers are actually turning and leveraging on NFT to help them to uh, control the assets. Traditional games assets cannot be really controlled in a Web2 version, right? So, but right now, just imagine you as a gamer, you play CSGO, you play Dota 2, you play any games, you always need to buy the skin, the weapons, and the character. These are the three main things. But what if we tell you blockchain can help to keep all your these assets into a wallet where you can actually trade later? Trading means you can actually sell or you can actually buy. Yeah, so I think right now is very exciting for gamer because for the very first time in a century, they can have a wallet that store this gaming assets into a traditional, from a traditional we transform to a digital ownership, right? So that is the power of NFT for everyone that you want to know. It's very simple. Just think of it like a phone. Right now I have this phone. Okay, let's say I want to turn it from a physical into a digital product. I can do it by minting an NFT. And for those who doesn't know what is minting, it's basically a platform where you put your image. Just now Anastasia did mention some of the ugly looking image are worth millions of dollars. Yes, they are worth millions of dollars. And that is why NFT is so exciting, because it allows you to trade and buy and sell. So that's where the whole new monetization game come along with Web 3.0 penetration into today's world. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. This is a very good explanation, and it's gonna be really interesting to learn more about NFTs and gaming. Vanya, I'll give you an opportunity to give your version of the really simple explain like I'm five.
Yeah, so just from technical point of view, like NFTs are impossible to use without blockchains. So from technical point of view, so basically you're taking a piece of blockchain and you're using this piece of blockchain to set up a piece of information, like metadata of the image, like some properties of this image, and etc. And that use case which Andy just mentioned, which is like related to the gaming, like for example, with those items which are related to CSGO, to Dota 2, or like to something else, This is like very, very huge use case, which was actually raised by Steam like very, very long time ago, like even before the NFTs. Because like actually what do we have right now is that gamers, they need this kind of ability to store their in-game items, which they have some kind of emotional connect to, or maybe gaming needs connect to, or something like this. Because Steam has it right now in Web 2.0, right? Like in Web 2.0 version. So basically it's some kind of inventory. It's based on some kind of server sites, and that's why it's not like fully reliable. We may know that a lot of gamers had like they had met a lot of fraudsters who just stole their accounts, basically just because they have access to their emails or email and passwords or something like this. And not to say that some of the gamers have their inventory like worth of tens of thousands of like dollars, and of course they don't want to lose it. And that's why like even comparing to this kind of to this use case, having your gaming, let's say, items as NFTs stored on your wallet, it's like much more reliable version to it. We're not even saying that trading is much more easier, that trading between players on some kind of marketplaces could be much, much more easier and like more adopted. But reliability and keeping your items safe is like one of the main reasons here as well. Yeah. So about NFTs, of course, they make sense. And the more use cases they have, the more sense they will get.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's address a question from community. By the way, to all the people viewing the stream, I believe there will be more of you joining later, so you can ask any questions on the topics of NFTs or DAOs or gaming for that matter, since we have such a guest today, and also about Yellow University and our plans. However, questions about Yellow University will be answered later. So, as for the next question, how do I create an NFT of my digital art? Vanya, Andy, who wants to answer that?
I believe Andy, maybe you can start with this one, but
Yeah.
there are definitely like a lot of ways to create your NFTs. Like first of all, you have to settle up your like not even smart contract, but the blockchain which you would like to use, because you have to understand that you have to maintain the amount of fees, the which are basically related to the amount of NFTs which you would like to mint. So, for example, if you're gonna mint a collection from the million pictures, you have to consider these options as well. But maybe Andy, you want to ask, like, answer in some sort of like creative way, like how do I create my NFT from my digital art, like maybe from the creative
Yeah.
point of view.
Yeah. So you know that GEMS Esports 3.0 platform have a marketplace because we saw a problems in the market for the large population of the gamers right now at 3.24 billion gamers worldwide. So we not only offer a marketplace, right? So NFT is a place where people buy, sell, trade on the marketplace. So before you want to make your own NFT, I walk you through a very simple 6 process. First, you choose your item. Number 2, you need to determine what is the blockchain that you intend to use for this particular NFT. Number 3, you need to have a digital wallet. So it can be a DeFi wallet, like you can open a MetaMask or Wallet Connect. Anyway, I'm not here to promote any brands, but I'm just here to share with you what are some sort of common platforms or products that you can quickly leverage or download to make your own NFT. Then the remaining 3 steps will be you need to select a good NFT marketplace, like I mentioned earlier on. There's a lot of marketplace like OpenSea and the list go on, right? 5, you upload your file. So just imagine you have a digital file. You need to make your digital file ready. It can be a picture of yourself, your grandfather, your grandmother, or even your family photo. I'm not sure, right? Yeah. Finally, you then set up the sales process. Just bear in mind that every NFT that you want to mint on the marketplace, you need to buy some ETH, right? Yeah. So just to let everyone know, that's the 6 steps.
Okay, thank you so much. It's actually a very, very interesting question because I think even though the boom of NFT seems to be like coming down, so to speak, and we have heard news about some really famous NFTs that were sold for like millions of dollars, now costing like a couple of hundreds. But still, it feels that people might just not see past the only the use of NFTs that comes down to digital art, because there's so many other use cases. Which ones do you think are equally important? Like you mentioned, gaming. What else is an interesting use case of NFTs? It's very important, but maybe not so obvious.
Maybe I can just share a little bit first, and then the other hosts can also co-share as well. I think right now NFT is probably the best way to onboard Web 2 to Web 3. Don't forget, right? Web 3 or blockchain is a technology. If you do not have enough users, it will always remain as a technology on the shelf. So we really need to focus every blockchain veteran or any blockchain projects out there. We need to think of ways how we can migrate the Web 2 people over to Web 3. For me, I really hope the whole world, especially the government, can take a look of using NFT to digitize their national identity ownership. What if we do away with driving license? What if we do away with national identity card? What if we do away with insurance? All those national identity. I think there's a benefit that if we leverage on NFT that's powered by blockchain, I really feel we can then also look into more further development like cross-country traveling, where we don't need a passport anymore, right? So just imagine a digital wallet and all your identity is stored into this wallet, and we can actually protect that wallet, right, by hot or cold encryption process. So there's really a lot of ways to protect your wallet. But I do see if every government start to work on this, right, I think the people will generally know how NFT works, and then they are more akin to blockchain. Then that will help to supersede blockchain at a super highway speed. Yeah, that is something I really hope one of the country in the world will actually adopt this soon.
Very good answer. I personally really agree with this. Actually, you mentioned about Vanya. I'll give you a word in just a second. But I was just gonna mention that actually this Tuesday we had like a crypto 2022 wrap up at Yellow Co-working here in Chiang Mai, and there were a couple guests, and we had mentioned how Trump has recently come up with a new collection of his NFTs. And I think I said that this is actually like he's my hero of 2022. I mean, it was kind of a joke, but at the same time, there's also some truth to that, because there's lots of people who know Trump. And when he suddenly starts selling an NFT collection, people are like, well, what the heck is an NFT, right? And so they're basically being onboarded into this whole sphere through some actors that they know from like real world, I want to say.
Yeah, we can say that there are like actually a lot of different influencers, and let's say these influencers, they influence on the crypto industry in the different way. Some of them are young guys and they're just doing some kind of YouTube videos, and some guys are just ex-US presidents. And yeah, to be honest, it's kind of promotes crypto globally. Yeah, and about and this topic, we actually mentioned a few times already the ability of having soul by token, like which we're like trying to explain. And one of the advantages, by the way, of this, let's say, NFT, let's say, solution, which is basically relate on your personal data, that we don't have to share your very sensitive personal data every time. So basically, what we can do? It's like we can use, for example, third-party KYC provider. Then, for example, user X passes some kind of KYC verification, and after that, he can get some kind of very specific, unique NFT. And this NFT may tell this following information, like this user like is not terrorist, right? This user like has been proceeded via various checks and etc. So basically, having this NFT, which from technical point of view can be, for example, even non-transferable, it just sits in your wallet until the end of your days, right? And basically, usages of this, for example, specific NFT can simplify a lot of procedures, like passing KYC procedures on the exchanges, like this perceiving like a high-level improvement of your personality or something like this. So in the end of the day, when you get the chance to see that some kind of wallet has this approved let's say maybe KYC based NFT, this one, this is like in some ways also the first step in the simplification of a lot of processes. Even if we end up with some kind of election processes, when you go to the some kind of your national elections, when you have to choose your president, and maybe one of the gateways of the proceeding to the elections will be your KYC based NFT. So far it's science fiction, but but to be honest, it's much more applicable than all current solutions which we have.
Well, it definitely sounded very futuristic, but
Yeah,
lots of very futuristic stuff is something that we're already seeing implemented in our
yeah.
lives.
I'm not sure if Andy knows what is DIA, but in Ukraine we have like our kind of digital passport DIA. It's called DIA, right? So basically, it's all your national or some kind of international passport in your phone. It's not blockchain based still, but it's still like already a confident solution, which like even got some kind of some kind of prizes globally. And as far as I know, this technology, this DIA like application will be even. It will be moved to other countries, and as far as I know, there will be some kind of iterations in order to implement this basically these applications in other countries. So let's say that usage of blockchain can be like one of the levels of the evolution of this idea or something like similar project like this. So yeah, I can't believe that. It's a question of the only 2-3 years. Like we're very close to it already. Like from the technical point of view, our society is ready. Like crypto community is also ready because these use cases are demanded by the community. So we just need to produce a reliable solution and like to implement it.
Absolutely. I bet many Ukrainians who are now living around the world could appreciate having something like DIA in other countries. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. There was, oh, okay. So this seemed to be quite an interesting question about how some projects offer staking benefits for NFTs. How is this technically possible? Oh, I love this question. So imagine there's like let me give a bit of background, I guess. Imagine there's like a marketplace where you can like sell or buy NFTs, but also this marketplace is like, hey guys, if you buy this NFT from us but you just keep it on our platform, or like you stake it in some protocol, we'll be giving you like I don't know, weekly or monthly rewards or something like that. So where do they get the money from? I guess this is like the main question. Like, how is this technically? How is this working?
Yeah, maybe I can share a little bit since I'm born an IT background, right? Okay, I think earlier on I explained how do we make an NFT today from any traditional physical looking assets. You can actually take a photo or do graphics and turn it into digital. I also explained about the minting process. Now, once you have, let's say you do buy an NFT on the marketplace today, and you realize that maybe you do not use the NFT for the next, or because you cannot sell, I think this is where NFT staking comes into place, right? So basically, what is NFT staking and why is it so? Because regular cash flow can be generated with NFT staking, which is why now it's very sexy when people talk about this new kind of feature called NFT staking. And basically, staking is a process whereby you deposit this NFT in a network, and then you can actually receive rewards for not selling it when it is staked. Like I mentioned earlier on, if you do not want to trade, let's say the market is not ready, you try to post on the marketplace, you cannot get any seller, you can try to search for marketplace that offer you staking NFT. Sometimes the NFT that you buy, let's say it belongs to a particular GameFi projects. Most of the GameFi projects offer staking. So you can actually go back to their website and then join their staking program, where it's just very simple, right? Fill out some information and then they will actually wrap your NFT while you do the staking when you do the transfer. So the general idea of this NFT works. There are a few things. Of course, you can stake it. Of course, you need to also understand that there's a lockout period. Normally, is from days to months to year, and also you do always see APY, right? So when you do staking, you need to know what is APY. APY means your annual percentage yield that you are getting when you deposit, right? So think of it like staking, like instead of using staking, in a very general term, is deposit. So instead of you deposit cash today with a bank, you get an interest, you deposit your digital assets, which is called as NFT, and then you get a reward out of it. The rarity of price and NFT do have an impact. So I give you one example for those people who have been new to this market. If you are buying a very super expensive NFT and you trust that this NFT is going to appreciate over the time, because it's always a buy and sell demand process. NFT work that way. The more people buy, generally the price will go up, right? So what you need to do, if you feel that this NFT is very rare and in future somebody could capitalize on it, right? Then go and do staking and keep it for a long term. Yeah. I also think that staking is not only applicable for tokens right now when you invest into a cryptocurrency project, but NFT staking I think will be the next exciting feature for 2023 actually.
Okay, thank you so much for such a detailed explanation. Vanya, do you have any additional comments?
Yeah, just to add, like there were like really plenty of NFTs, like let's say millions of them, and from some point of time, people started to realize that there have to be some utilities in it, right? Because like we can also like we can always say that some of the I'm sorry, just
Okay, so while Vanya is oh
yeah, I'm very sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
yes. So basically, yeah, the one piece that NFTs can bring you some kind of emotional value, right? So when your like favorite creator or like favorite singer, or, like he launches some kind of NFT project, you just want to have a piece of it, right? But after like second, third waves of NFTs, people started to understand that I don't like the one piece of it, that it's not a liquid asset. So basically, buying NFT for $100 doesn't mean that you can sell it for $100 every point of time. From that point of time, the creators started to fill the NFTs with utilities. So it's not just a picture, it's not just an emotional value and the piece of blockchain which is settled to you, right? So you have to get something extra to it. Someone like some creators started to distribute some kind of like advantages on their platforms. Someone started to distribute some kind of random prizes or something close to it, and basically bringing more utilities like staking options to it is like one of the options to increase the use cases and increase the basically utilities of this NFT. So let's say it's just one of the additional ways to increase the internal value which stands behind this NFT.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's move to a different question. Oh, this one about NFTs and real estate. How can NFTs be incorporated into buying real estate virtually, if at all? Um,
Maybe I can take this question, Anastasia.
yeah.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned earlier on, right? If you guys are watching this stream here, I talk about physical assets earlier on that can be transformed into NFT, right? So always think of like an NFT. It's just an item inside a digital wallet. If that is so difficult for you all to remember, right? Yeah, just think of it like a digital item that is stored in your digital wallet. That's means that anything we can do from physical into digital. Now, what if we take a title deed? When we buy a property today, anywhere in the world, we will sure have a property deed. This property deed will means that it's a set of paper that tell us, right, who is the owner, right? But then if today I need to go to the banks, I need to go so many organizations to prove this. What if I can just go to any government agency, open my phone, and then flash my NFT? Straight away, they have access to all my properties that I have purchased without having me to carry papers or files all around. And what if we move a step further by allowing anybody in the world to buy property without going through the legal process or the government process of owning a document, of owning a property, I think this will happen.
But I
Because,
guess
yeah,
the question is, in this case, how do they, for example, verify the source of the funds? How do they verify that this person has legal right to own property in this country? Like, I guess there should be like a different sort of like oracles. Like, it seems like this is actually one of the main problems between like NFTs and real world assets, because it works fine in real world, it works fine in digital space, but when you try to connect it, there needs to be like certain third party that evaluates evaluates whether the processes are going right in the real world, and then like approves certain digital transactions. So in what way do you think this should be done, and whether we already have like certain structures that can help in going through these processes in a correct way?
yeah, I think there's a lot of. I also mentioned earlier on. We all know that we have got good blockchain technologies that we can leverage and try to transform, right, the traditional business into looking at this. But then I also mentioned earlier on, one of the biggest problem, like you say, Anastasia, is the governance, the legalization. The governance is a very big issue right now. They are stopping us to grow, and I really hope that the government will take steps. The government, the ministry will take steps to explore NFT further, and I believe they are doing it. So I'm a Singaporean, so I can tell you, Singapore is having a blockchain team. They are looking to leverage on blockchain and NFT to digitize everything. Actually, right now, like in Singapore, my identity, my driving license, and my property is already digitized in the mobile app. It's just that I do not own. Those things are still owned by the government. But I wish
Yeah.
to have a good ownership. I need to have that to my own ownership. And the only way to do it is having a digital wallet, transform it into NFT, and then I store it. Whether I'm going to protect it by cold wallet or hot wallet, that is a personal choice. But I think the government need to work towards this direction, because it helps to eliminate so many traditional process, paperwork, and also I would say, right, it's a showstopper, right? Every time a country, like in Southeast Asia, is very unique. They do not allow foreigners, like for a country like Thailand and Singapore, they do allow foreigners to buy the property. But then I feel that the whole process in getting even to own it, not about the payment part, right? To own it digitally is a must, because otherwise we'll be walking through process. It's going to take 3 months, 6 months to even own the property. But with NFT, a digital wallet, and a platform that maybe more and more platforms are leveraging on NFT to sell property and whatsoever. So I really think the market will be there. It's just that we need the government to work with us together to legalize a governance framework for blockchain.
Okay, great answer. Great answer. Yes. Vanya,
Yeah,
any comment?
yeah, like mostly agree with Andy. Like, I just want to say that regulations are not the very bad thing all of the time, right? Because like when we're speaking about this kind of very interesting attachments of the real estate from the real physical world, and the NFT tokens which are staked in your Web3 wallet, if you buy the real estate, of course you want to be sure that you're kind of secured, that kind of government fully understands your purchase, it approves your purchase, and moreover it will save your rights, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, so for these regulations, first of all, like the countries with their governments have to fully accept the blockchain technology. Second option, I think we have to pick some of the maybe selected blockchain networks will be used for this kind of payments, because like most likely they have to be KYC verified, just to not to let some kind of drug dealer who sold like a lot of drugs, then like called like millions of Monero, then he just transfers Monero to Bitcoin or something
Exactly.
else. Yeah,
Yeah.
most likely the governments won't like to have a citizen like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And the third point that this kind of NFT token issue has to be also regulated, right? Because
Yeah.
there will be this first stage where this real estate where this real estates appear on the blockchain, And of course, we want to verify that there are basically no bribes. That's like it's fully respected, it's fully reliable. So it has to be like transparent, but very transparent. Like, so this kind of ownership has to be transparent, like everything on the blockchain. So anytime you can go to like some kind of maybe filter or some kind of database, just insert like Singaporean address, and you can like just get the blockchain info, who is the owner of this estate or something like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also want to add on further, right? I think like Hong Kong, in particular, you will need a STO. So for some of you that do not know, a STO, it stands for a security token offering. If you are going to transform real estate into NFT, so there's still some sort of involvement from the government in terms of a very quick process. But I think there needs to be built on not a permissionless, but a permission blockchain infrastructure, so that when the buyer, the platform, as well as the government can get to be involved in the whole transactions of the whole blockchain, right? Where there's still control, there's still governance. I really think this will work because we already have this infrastructure. We are just waiting for them to leverage on this, man.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. And do you think that there's like you mentioned that as a second step for anyone wanting to create like an NFT would be to select the blockchain on which he would be creating an NFT. So in your opinion, so we've been talking about like the real estate and all the different use cases. So which blockchain do you think works the best for both the digital art and for other use cases of NFTs?
Maybe I can start off first, right? I will talk a little bit, um, because there are a lot of chain on in particular, right? Like for gaming projects, NFT or gaming or for gaming NFT, we have about 1,200 GameFi projects on BNB chain right now, about 497 on Polygon chains. So I think these two chain probably is one of the biggest for games. I'm not so sure about for sports, music, and arts, but I think it's still on Ethereum, right? Yeah. I'm not sure if other hosts have anything else to add.
So Vanya, what is the best blockchain for NFTs? I think you are actually, it's like funny to ask you this question because
Mm-hmm.
for anyone listening, we at Yellow, with enhancing the Duckies platform, we have been working like a lot recently on figuring out like releasing massive parts of NFT collections and games. And Vanya seemed to have been one of the key persons in defining all the processes here. So yeah, it would be really interesting to hear your opinion.
Uh, okay, let me answer like this into steps. Like from the historical point of view, most of the people and active NFT users would say you that Ethereum is a top tier NFT chain, right? And one of the reasons to prove this is like we can say by fact that just check up the fees of the Ethereum network from the previous year. Sometimes it was like how much, $80 fee, $40 fee, $60 fee, and people were okay with this. That's the funniest thing. But having this in mind, I'd say that basically layer two options on the Ethereum are maybe not the best, but from just my personal point of view, are just more applicable in these days. Especially if you go not just for some kind of single NFT, but if you go for something like really vast, like broad collections, which maybe will go from year to year, and you're gonna mint like thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of NFTs. Yeah, yeah, just personal opinion that Polygon rocks here. Yeah, low fees, green technology. Come on, guys.
Mm.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Sorry. Once again, some people, of course, can say that there are like absolutely other blockchains. Like some of them, some use Avalanche, some used Solana or something like this. But once again, we're trying to have it in mind that the blockchains have to be online 100% of time, I'd still prefer something based on Ethereum, like Polygon.
Yeah, and don't forget, right? Just to add on, almost all the NFT almost are built on Ethereum. 90% of the NFT are actually on Ethereum. So that number's very big because when they are on a different chain, you just make it harder for them to buy. Of course, I think over time, the multi-chain feasibility is going to happen, right? But it's going to take time, but not now, as of now. So for those people, I know why you ask these specific questions, but I think my recommendation, and of course, I'm not offering any financial advice. My recommendation personally will be go with the big boys. Then it's easier, right? Because end of the day, you buy NFT, I would say mostly is for trading purposes. And if you've sold, it's better to go with the big boys that most of the NFT are on that particular chain, which I mentioned earlier on.
Okay, thanks a lot. There's another question, which is more about our yellow NFTs. So at the moment, we have the Halloween and early adopter NFTs. Will there still be a future adoption for this, or will they stay only a collector's item? Vanya?
Okay, yeah, and it's related to the Dakis NFT, which we basically launched. It will be related to the future adoption. Most likely, we will introduce some kind of update for the previous of the last NFTs. As soon as we are going to implement our gamified and randomized NFTs, we would like to also attach our previous one to those. But it's not like the highest priority right now. It's not going to be done at the launch date. Let's say so. All the Halloween and the early adopters NFTs are the most limited because you're not able to get them now. And in order to understand what they will bring to you, you have to wait for the update, which will basically introduce the update of the Halloween NFTs and how do they work with the future NFT ecosystem.
Great. Thank you so much. Very clear. Let's move on to the next question. So there's a huge debate about NFT royalty. What's your take on it?
You mean like the standard royalties, which basically say how much money, like what is the percentage of the purchase goes to the creator of the NFTs, right?
Yeah.
I'd say if I was a creator, I would love it for sure. As a third party member who just witnesses it from a side, I think it's a good idea. I think it's legit. As soon as most NFTs are just traded away to the one to the another way. Some of the NFTs are maybe resold a couple of hundreds times, and a lot of manipulation with prices, a lot of manipulations with reselling is going on. So I think it's just fair that if the creator did something really interesting and vital, which was resold at hundreds of times, come on guys, let's give him this fee hundreds of times or thousands of times. Yeah, I think it's just legit. Having fees for the creators is okay.
Yeah. Let me put it in this way from gaming perspective, right?
Yeah. I was just gonna ask about this.
Yeah. I really think NFT, I mean, not only gaming, right? But there's a lot of things, right? NFT royalties, NFT creator, content creator, and the DAO is very important, right? That's why it's NFT and DAOs. I think Anastasia is going to ask a few questions later about DAO, but maybe let me start a little bit first. So just imagine we play a shooting game right now. I love this shooting game, and I happen to be a game developer or a graphic design artist. So I feel maybe the character I love needs some improvement. I could work on it, submit to the game publisher that, hey, I think you should revise your gaming hero. And this is my proposal. I'm going to send you that digital art. But if I do that and you accept and the community love it, right? Because community means they have the power to vote, they have the power to decide, right? And then they can decide that this NFT, the game publisher say, hey guys, do you guys like this? To the community, powered by DAO, why do you like it? I think the content creator have a chance to earn money by earning a royalties between 5 to 10%. Now we are talking about blockchain, NFT, DAO, and the whole ecosystem. Remember, Web3 bring forth digital assets that allow monetization that it has never happened before, right? It's always asked towards the central governing body, and that's how they hire people. But why can't we eliminate that part and allow everyone on a peer-to-peer method, and we get paid while we provide contents. A very good question that my wife asked me, why are you posting on social media every day? Do you get paid? I say no. I need DAO. I told her, say I need DAO. So if I contribute a very good content to a particular game, a particular sports, or it could be even a company. What if today you work in, let's say, Fuji Xerox or HP, you recommend such a good idea, and that idea can turn into a digital asset, and you can actually receive royalty. So I really think that NFT and DAO needs to coexist together, and I definitely support NFT royalties. It's just to be fair to the creator, and we need to create more and more content creators, not only
Yeah.
for games, books, music, food, travel, the list just go on.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's like with in the real world we have like movie stars or singers, especially singers who are like who are really rich because there's millions of people willing to pay a little bit for listening to their music. So it seems to be logical that the similar concepts should be applied into the digital world as well. So you kind of touched DAO topic a little bit. So let's actually jump into that. So again, same thing but about DAOs. So this seems to actually be something that is probably closer to be trending even than NFTs. Like if to look in the upcoming years probably. So because of that, there's lots of misconceptions about DAOs, and there's lots and lots of people who don't really understand what it is. And I've met people who just want to create a DAO because it's cool. So how would you explain DAO in simple terms?
So, so just think of right. Whatever. Let's say we are company A. Whatever that is in house, the decision is normally made by the senior management, or either if today the CEO wants to have a voice from everyone, naturally what we will do is we'll go and create a poll, or we create an internal meeting and say, hey guys, do you think our company should do this? Blah 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 blah. Why so troublesome, right? Everyone should have the voting right. Everyone is a team member in the company. With a DAO, everything is transparent. That is built on the blockchain network. Your company can be built on a DAO organization with a homepage of your DAO, of your employees profile, and of course when you throw a questions, everybody have the right to vote. So I think that is how you can understand DAO, because it gives every of your company the power to vote, decide or reject. Yeah.
Correct. Actually, let me welcome Akshita Goyal. She's co-founder of Flaq, and she launches Superwoman DAO, if I'm not mistaken. So Akshita, as I said, she's a co-founder of Flaq, the project that is currently partnering with Yellow on enhancing our Yellow University content. Akshita, it's nice to have you with us. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. Hi, everyone. Hope you're all doing well as well.
Okay, so we were just jumping into the topic of DAOs, and my question was how to explain DAOs in simple terms because there's lots of misconceptions about them. And since you're basically running a DAO project, if I understood correctly, maybe you can offer your perspective on this as well.
Definitely. So I don't know what's already covered, so please interrupt me if I am repeating something. But if I were to explain DAOs in simple terms, it would just be like for anybody who's tech or non-tech to just try and break down the term that is created, right? So a DAO is nothing but a decentralized autonomous organization, and therefore it's an organization of people, or rather it's a community in or usually a more formalized manner, followed by the fact that it's autonomous, therefore it's not governed by a third party or a government or anything of that sort. And the third aspect of it would be that it's decentralized, and that's the part that all of us in Web3 usually focus at, which is what kind of governance model can a DAO go for while still retaining its decentralized nature. Can it be a holographic consensus system? Can it be voting where one person gets one vote, or can it be delegated voting where I choose who votes for me in the DAO or anything of that sort? So at present, I feel like the DAO governance models are still evolving very much. And there's still a lot of back and forth in terms of mixing models to actually reach the right model that is sustainable for a DAO, and for the decentralized nature of it still. But yeah, if I would just put it in simple terms, that's all that a DAO is. It's not very complicated.
Okay, thank you so much, Vanya.
Uh, let's say we're in the beginning stage of the implementing DAO systems in the crypto environment right now, because it's still very, very tricky, right? Uh, Let me just give you two simple examples. One example like is related to a DAO, which is like some kind of crypto project. For example, let's say they have this kind of farming yield with their tokens, and they do the DAO voting by the locking the tokens. And why it's not like really fair every time, like a lot of times. Just imagine there, for example, there were thousands of people who had like, for example, one token and they voted for one decision, and there could be one whale user who has like 10 times more than these 1,000 people. He locks the needed amount of tokens for some kind of like, for example, just imagine that the voting question was like, do we want to increase the withdrawal limit to these farming pools? Most of the users will say, of course, I don't want to do it, like, because I want to keep my pool very big. But one whale will come to this voting. He will put his million tokens to this voting DAO protocol. This DAO will pass, and they will basically increase the withdrawal limits this way. And basically, he will get his needed result. On the other hand, what can be good example of DAO? Just imagine we have some kind of online game, right? And there was some kind of weapon which was not balanced. We implement the new DAO vote in this game, for example, and it looks like this. Do we want to increase the damage of this weapon, or do we want to not change it? In case it's, for example, DAO, which was based on the NFT, and each player has only one NFT. This way, this DAO can be very, very fair, right? Because each user has this right to vote, and basically each vote is really relevant comparing to the others. Yeah, because basically what I'm trying to say is that the DAOs are really, really different, and we still have to investigate what are the best options to do it, just to make it balanced and not make it up, like not make it available for one whale to completely break the vote.
Well, I believe there are like certain protocols that implement some kind of calculations to downgrade the impact of single large vote, so it stays more fair.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of them really do it, but they do it only on paper, like de jure, they do it this way, but de facto, they get the results that they wanted.
Well, yeah, that's very interesting. Akshita, maybe you can tell a bit more about the SuperwomenDAO that you're running. So, how does it work there? Like this big disadvantage that Vanya just mentioned, do you have it also, or how do you work around it?
So, Superwoman DAO, so I'm one of the contributors to the DAO and the core team. So, how we do it over there is we have around 17 members in the core, and then we have like 2,000 something members, right? So it becomes really hard to create a governance model where every member gets a vote, and then we vote on every small decision that needs to be taken. And therefore, it becomes more of a which decision is a decision that is important enough for us to put the vote for all members. But with respect to the core itself, that is the people who started the DAO or the people who've been contributing the most to it, it becomes more like, okay, every decision has to go to a vote. And at the moment, that's how we are doing it, which is that every member sort of has, it's one person, one vote. It's not a, I have a higher stake, so I have a vote system. But I believe every DAO can have a governance model that can suit themselves depending on their purpose. Since we are, as Superwoman DAO community that is focused towards onboarding more women, making it an investment focused DAO for women in Web3 and things like that, and there's no tokenomics in play yet, it becomes less political for us in terms of having the whole staking thing, right? Which is why we've just gone with one person, one vote. And that's been working well for the 6 months that the DAO has existed. So hopefully should work in the future as well.
Okay, that's very, very interesting. So let's answer one question from the community here. So can you please tell us what is the use of DAO? So I quite like the example about like using DAOs in games, and like I've also heard about some DAOs that are like investment pools, or like basically like an investment funds that consist of different people who are members of this DAO, and they vote on how they on what projects they invest in. But what are the other use cases? But I would like you to specifically focus on these where DAO is either the only possible solution, or at least a much, much better solution than, let's say, a more traditional organization with some sort of voting tool implemented that's not on blockchain.
Maybe I can share one example about uh, leveraging DAO on a particular game. Okay, so I think DAO, there are few main types, right? For many different business industry and cases. And one of the common one, like Anastasia, you just mentioned, is crowdfunding, right? Where people get to vote. And also, I think the second one that is popular is actually the decentralization in metaverse, and also some NFT based support investment. I think the last one is more on the app project, where we need more transparency and governance. So I like to talk about in particular for GameFi, for game projects, right? Not only Web3. So think of it like a shooting game today. I use back the same example, where it used to be the game publisher and the team themselves make the whole decision how they want the game to look like, even for the new story or new release or new version. But then DAO will allow everyone to be connected via PC, via some sort of ownership, and via some sort of a commitment to the games. Right, we have to prove that you are owner of the game before you can actually have a voting right as part of the DAO organization. So I really think that it connects the supplier, the consumers, and also maybe the veteran experts together to share their views on what a product or what the game should look like in terms of the game character, the gaming mat, the assets, or what should be come up for the next version. A lot of times when they release something, there's so much issue because the game publisher did not have a clear way of connecting to the users. And now we can revolutionize this by empowering and incorporating DAO that connect this whole people in this gaming ecosystem. Then I think we make better product, we make lesser mistakes, and when the product go out, I think everybody will be more excited because they are all part of this voting. It's
Very
just
good
like
answer.
it's just
Yeah.
like an association. Why do we have a sports association in every country, right? There's a reason why. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, maybe just to add a little bit to Andy's idea is that basically there is no any project who has finished his development process. Basically, each crypto project is in a state of some kind of continuous evolution, and in order to get the right direction of your evolution, you have to understand the feedback of your community, a feedback of your users. And one of the maybe the most convenient ways to use it is just to implement DAO. You have to trigger your priorities every time. You have to maybe change the priorities between some stuff in the middle of the project, and it's absolutely a normal idea here. So some DAOs can be even related to the UI part. Like, do you like this kind of version of the UI of the site or this one? Some of them can be related to like huge use cases, like what is more important for you, like having a multi-network right now, or maybe having a bigger amount of trading pairs, or maybe having some kind of additional blocks if you're like speaking about trading. So basically, DAO is a way of getting reliable and transparent, let's say, attention, and basically, and it's a way of getting the real reviews.
Okay. Yes, that's also very interesting. Thank you so much for this. So I believe we're probably coming closer to an end of our stream because it's already been almost an hour. I would like to ask like one final question. Like, what would you suggest to people who want to like get like better knowledge about DAOs, because this seems to be, because it's such a, it's a newer topic. It seems like there's not so much information about it, and so we definitely provide some in Yellow University, but maybe you would like suggest some like things to be aware of, or yeah, just like a farewell word.
Some people say that good doctor maybe doesn't save you from a disease, but at least he saves you from a bad doctor, right? So about DAO, what I would really suggest from my side is it's very useful to investigate what are the bad examples of DAO, and especially what were the examples when DAO was used just to, just to enforce on some of the things which the developer team or some kind of investors team, they wanted to like, to push. And unfortunately, it's a real case in some ways. I just don't want to, give this direction mentions. But what I
Yeah,
can say, just review stable coins, which are underpacked, and please go review their DAOs, go review their systems, because in the end of the day, it's not that complicated. When someone is tricky and suspicious about something, in most cases there is a reason for it. And
yeah.
when you get the, some kind of pool of the experiences of bad DAO, after that, I think for yourself, just for your personal experience, you can understand what could be the better experience of it, what could be what could be the better use case for the DAO.
That's very true. Thanks a
I
lot,
I
Andy.
will let Goya from Superwoman to talk about it, because this is a product, right? And you missed just now a lot of airtime. I'm going to give you the airtime, Goya.
I actually lost my connection. Are we still on the question of what's the use cases of DAOs, or have we
No,
pivoted?
I was gonna ask like what would be your farewell advice for people who want to either learn more about DAOs or become a part of a DAO, or like invest in some projects that have DAO built in.
So I would say, I mean, we as a DAO in SuperwomenDAO are also still very much in our learning phase. I think all DAOs are in that phase still, always. But I would say that for anybody who's interested in joining a DAO or building their own DAO or investing in a DAO of anything, it's very important to do your own research about the DAO. Who are the members in the DAO? What's the hierarchy in the DAO? How much is everyone involved in the DAO, how decentralized it actually is. If you can find out how, if their docs are open source, do they have, let's say, how is that treasury controlled? Because at the end of the day, who holds the money is what actually proves how decentralized your DAO is, right? Like, do your members actually vote on whether this money can go to this XYZ project, or is it a sole person making a decision? So I would say just understand how much of a DAO it really is, or is it just something that is being called a DAO and is actually just a simple centralized company, right? And then also correlate the purpose of the DAO to why you want to join it. So, for instance, if you are a woman in Web3 and you want to, let's say, onboard yourself into a community where there are more women and get SuperwomenDAO would be the place. If you are, I don't know, let's say if you are into like social good projects and you want to contribute to a certain cause across the world, on-chain monkey DAO would be the right place to go. If you're a developer DAO would be the right place to go. So the idea is to understand what's the purpose of joining it. The good thing about this is that there's no limit. You can join how many DAOs you want. No one's stopping you. But just make sure like the DAO that you're actually joining or building or investing in is staying true to the purpose that it was made for, and is staying true to the idea of a DAO to begin with. That's all that I would say. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Andy.
Sorry, I'm muted. Yeah, I think Goya cover almost everything, right? Yeah, but recently I'm working with university. I'm a Singaporean based in Vietnam. So, GEMS is an esports 3.0 platform where we believe bridging Web 2 to Web 3 through esports tournament. And it's very interesting recently when I did an esports tournament in the school. And I wish I have a DAO system, because I wanted to ask all the students, what is your next esports game that you want us to host? I can't be going everywhere to collect answers on that, right? So I really think DAO is like interactive version of forum. I mean, I'm in the 40s right now, right? So I use a lot of forum during my time, where people go in and chat, they vote and stuff like that. I really think DAO is an upgraded version of forum, but then it allows the people to actually vote and have a voice in what they want to see, or what they want to
Yeah.
do, or what they want the manufacturer to supply the product and services. So I think the future will be there will be a lot of DAO community. There will be a lot of DAO forum, where everybody actually have the right to do or say something, so long you are part of this or you are involved in this program. And school is definitely one of the best way to get them on DAO, because if we do that, then we supersede DAO like a super highway, right? Then everybody get to know, get to study blockchain by using the blockchain actually.
Yes, beautiful words. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today on this session number 4 of Yale University. So I'm not saying that we're taking holiday break. We will keep on uploading content in the upcoming days. However, the last stream, which will be more interactive with our students, I think, will happen on the second Friday of January, I believe. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing all of you there later on. And yes, again, thank you so much for participation, and happy holidays.
Yeah,
Yep.
same. Thank you, Goya. Thank you,
Thanks.
Vanta, and thank you, Anastasia. Happy Merry Christmas, everybody. And thanks for all those supporting Yellow University today. And thanks again, host.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
holiday.
Bye bye.